Hello there, a lovely good morning to you wherever you are. This is Good Morning Africa show here on Pan-African Television, and my name is Ivia Benandide Nakite. Yes, I know you might be wondering why I'm here. Yes, today, if you didn't know or if you don't know, it's International Women's Day. International Women's Day. We do know that this day is a global holiday set aside to celebrate women who are doing better globally, not just in Ghana. And this day isn't, you know, the interesting part of this day is that it doesn't just celebrate a single woman or a single mother or a country or an individual. No. It recognizes women globally, women who are doing better globally. So today is for every woman right out there, every woman watching us this morning. This is the International Women's Day edition of Good Morning Africa show, and I'm so excited to be featuring on this morning show is featuring, great women. Yes, so Hajia Hamdatu is the aspiring presidential candidate for the CPP and also former acting chairperson for the CPP. Hajia is here in the studio with us. We also have Dr. Benedicta Yaya Fosu Mensah. She is a member of the NDC communication team here. Today we are discussing International Women's Day. Yeah, so I would want you to join in the conversation. Follow us, join us on Facebook at Pan-African Television. We are live across 46 African countries and some part of Europe. So as the show goes on, you can send in your thoughts and your comments via our Facebook page, and I'll gladly read it loud and clear for you. Today is the 8th of March 2022, and the theme for today's International Women's Day is breaking the bias. Breaking the bias. And I'm sure this particular campaign message or the campaign theme for the International Women's Day highlights the biases against women, individual or collective biases against women that fuels gender inequality. So whether it's a collective something or an individual something, biases makes it difficult for women to move forward. Myself, when I'm trying to do something and someone tries to intimidate me, I find it difficult to move ahead. So today's show promises to be an interesting one and entertaining one, especially for we the women, especially our cherished viewers watching us live across 46 African countries and some part of Europe. So, Hajia, good morning.
Good morning, my dear. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Happy International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day to you too.
Welcome.
And our cherished viewers. Thank you.
Doc.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Doc.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm also fine, thank you. And happy International Women's Day to you and all women out there. I think this day is set aside to celebrate women and also our contribution to national development. So I wish all women a happy International Women's Day.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, so you heard it right from Doc and Hajia. Today is International Women's Day, as I intimated earlier. It has been set aside to celebrate women who are working tremendously. Yes, it's been great so far. Women are really working in this country and globally. The most interesting part, as I said, isn't just about celebrating a single woman. This is for everyone, every woman, right? Even if you're a girl, you definitely go to be a woman someday, right, Tadia?
Sure.
So it's a happy day for all of us. I'm so excited. I don't know if I'm a woman or not.
You are.
I know, yes. Women in leadership like Hajia and Doc, I'm looking forward to be like you someday, and I know it will happen because you are great women.
Inshallah. Inshallah.
Yes, inspiring we the young women to be better persons.
You see, that is why the theme for this year is very, very important. Breaking the barriers. Because as you are aspiring to be in leadership position, you encounter so many challenges. But that challenges shouldn't stop you from achieving your set goals, because whether we like it or not, we are in this business as partners in development with the men. But you know, some people see, I posted something on Facebook, and somebody was asking, what about leadership, or is it religious, something women? You see, there's this notion of thinking that women should be in the kitchen, or maybe women are not supposed to be in the forefront. If you see when the struggle started, around 1908 or something, when the women in New York marched, about 15,000 said no, we also have the right to go and vote, because at that time they were not voting. And then they also said they wanted shorter time at their workplaces. And that was what made it possible for this day to be celebrated by women. It shouldn't just be celebrated by women, it should be celebrated by men, because men should celebrate their women. You understand? Men should celebrate their women. Men should celebrate the achievement of women. Men should see women as partners in development, not maybe I have this and then the woman is coming to take it away from me. I was telling Doc, you know, I want to see her win her seat, because, well, I will say it as I'm not an NDC member, so if I say it, nobody can come and hold me responsible.
Of course.
Because the MP in her area, I've never even heard him there. But if a woman should just fumble a bit, it will be highlighted. The other day I was asking people why Parliament is still not passing the affirmative action bill into law. Let's even assume, without admitting, that the 40 women are against the bill in Parliament. What stops the 235 men from helping to pass it? If you believe in affirmative action and you believe in gender parity, you understand? So for me, if nobody is celebrating us, we'll celebrate ourselves.
Exactly.
We'll celebrate ourselves.
Yes.
How far God has brought us. And we have a peaceful country that we all have to enjoy, celebrate. Today is a very packed day. From here, I'm moving to the party headquarters. The Women's League of my party is organizing something big for women who were committed, dedicated, who have never shifted, either left or right, because our great leader, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, said, I neither look left or right, but look forward. Some of us continue to look forward and praying and hoping that the Convention People's Party will take its rightful position in the decision-making body of this country. And then I think the Women's League need to be applauded. I think somewhere in 2009 we did something like that, when Samia was the first female to win, or the only parliamentarian to win a seat for the CPP in 2008 election. So in 2009 we celebrated her with people like Miss Lucy Enim, Auntie Boko, Mrs. Kwasin, and then you see, we weren't biased. That's why we are saying, let's break the bias. Yes. When we're honoring, that time I was the women's organizer. We didn't just look at the women, but we looked at men who were championing the cause of women in our party, like Mr. K.T. Darcy and Professor Edmond Dele, who really, when you go to them concerning women issue, they really contribute. So that year, we honored them. You see, we didn't say because they are men we are not going to honor them. We did. That is what we are calling on everybody. Women are partners in development. Women should be given a fair playing field to excel. Women are excelling in the academia, in politics, in medicine, and so on and so forth. The other day I was telling my people that I think the world is evolving. Gone were the days that you said, oh, me, I don't want my daughter to do medicine. I don't want my daughter to do this. And where I'm coming from, that's the Islamic point of view. You know, even if you go to the hospital, maybe a man is not supposed, a different man is not supposed to look at another man's wives. Then I said, if you don't allow your daughter to go and do medicine, and we have doctors, women doctors, who can, if our mothers, our sisters go there, they will feel free, you understand? So for me, I think we have done a lot. We've come far, but we need to do more as a country. In this case, Ghana. What can we do to break that barrier? By passing the affirmative action bill into law. Because His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, that was one of his promise, that in his first term in office, he will make sure the affirmative action bill is passed into law. And we are yet, we are yet to see that. When they had 167, 69, that was when I was expecting the bill to be passed. Now that is 137, 137. I'm sure even when they put it on the table, it's not going to be discussed like the E-levy, because it is incumbent on both the NDC and MPP to make sure that the affirmative action bill is passed into law. Why am I saying this? Because they both promised us, be it NDC or MPP, they promised that, and then there's no any other parliamentarian in parliament but the MPP and the NDC. They should. I learned the levy is coming to the table too. I pray and hope that it will come with the affirmative action bill onto the table, so that by the time we finish this year, before they even rise for Easter is when, Prof, you know, it's April. It's April.
Yeah.
Before they rise for April, then the affirmative action bill is passed into law. You know, it has gone back and forth, back and forth, back and forth since 1997. You know, when they went to Beijing, the women were led by Nana Konadu Rawlings. Yesterday, somebody wrote that she's no more what and what in Ghana politics. I beg to differ, even though I have my differences. I see her
comment
this thing that time differently. But you cannot take it away from her that she has championed the cause of women in this country.
Okay.
So when they came back from Beijing, there was a committee set by the NDC, chaired by Madame Clark Kwesi. 1997, people like Dr. the Abantu for Development, Dr. Rose Mensa Kutin. We had people like Dr.
Mary Grant?
No, Dr. Mary Grant, of course, and then there's Dr. Gajapo, and then there's Professor Chikata,
okay.
And then there's Hilary Bidema. All of them have championed the cause of women and have put this document together. Abantu for Development will even have a women's manifesto that maybe if any party think that they cannot find a woman, or they don't really understand what the women of this country, and for that matter the continent of Africa, are looking for. If you look at the Women's Manifesto, you see every single detail. And then most of the presidents, aspirants at that time said they are going to adopt the Women's Manifesto that was put together by the Abantu for Development. So I think it is hard time on this gracious day of International Women's Day. We are calling on the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to walk his talk, the promise he made to the women of this country. We are still waiting for the results because we've not seen it. On this occasion, let me wish all women, especially the First Lady of the country, the Second Lady, the Chief Justice now, she's not.
Yeah, she's not.
Okay, we can say former Chief Justice,
Chief Justice.
The Electoral Commissioner, all women in leading positions in this country, including the legislature, the judiciary, the academia, like Dog, who are doing marvelously well to brighten the corner where they are. I think where women are, it's always shining. It's like light, boom. So please, Africa, West Africa, and then you see even where we are as Ghanaians, it's even below the world or African this thing that we are looking for. If it's world 24%, 23%, but we are still at 14.6% or something. I think we have the capable women, we have the women who can be in leadership position. Can you imagine if we had 100 women in parliament? All these blows, all these fights, because it wouldn't happen. Because women
just going to be dramatic, then.
You know, I'm telling you, they would just say no. Well, you know, when we have 100 women in parliament, I'm sure the leadership of the house will be taken by women. So can you imagine how they will cool tempers instead of struggling to take ballot boxes instead of punching each other. They rather come. Look, when that thing happened, did you see the way the women comported themselves? It was so fantastic. So I celebrate all women, be it the market women, the carriers, everybody matter in this country. Everybody matter. A woman carrying her load to get something to go and feed her children. A woman will never stay the whole day without struggling to look for something to put on the table for her family. That is the woman of Africa, and for that matter, Ghana. So we have to celebrate ourselves. And the men are celebrating us. For the past 1 week, the men are celebrating us. Let's applaud them. Because I think their awareness is very, very effective this time around, breaking the barrier. Some people call me that, hey, Ajia, which barrier are we breaking? I said, you don't know the barriers we are breaking. Some people think that women cannot be in leadership position. When I posted that, and people say, you know, if they give women position, they tend to abuse it. I said, which women? How many women? How many women?
The opportunity.
How many women have been given the opportunity? But the men will do. Somebody will say they will do. You will never hear anything. But let a woman just slip.
Yes, trouble.
Then there's trouble. So please celebrate us. Celebrate us, the women of this country, the world.
Yeah.
And we pray for peace to happen in wherever there is war. Look at the Ukrainian problem.
Yeah.
It's the women and children who are suffering. Everywhere there is war, it's women and children who suffer. The men will be running and leaving the women and the children back at the back. They don't even care. So that is why women in this country, women in the world are praying for peace. Nobody wants anything that will come and shake the foundation of our nation. No.
Not at all.
Since we are going to discuss school, I think I'll pause here and then I'll fire when it is time.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hajia. Doc, before we begin the discussion, do you have any comments?
Yes, I would want to say again, to wish especially women in my constituency, Central Town, I want to take this opportunity to wish you all a happy International Women's Day. And to all women in Ghana, once again, I want to wish you happy Women's Day. Actually, breaking bias.
The bias.
Women, I think we face a lot of biases, a lot of stereotypes. You know, like Hajia said, there's always a perception that the place for women is a kitchen and also taking care of kids. But I think women have gone far beyond that. Women are seen in leadership position all over the world. Women are more or less partners in development. We've seen women who have transformed economy. And a typical example is Angela Merkel. I mean, that woman, when she was the Prime Minister of Germany, we saw that a point, I think, when we talk about Europe, Germany was leading in terms of economy, in terms of development. And that was a woman who was leading. So I want to say that the perception that the kitchen is for women, I think, should be discarded. It's an ancient day of thinking.
The dustbin.
And I think that it's high time that as a nation, we also promote things that will inure to the increase in leadership as far as women are concerned. And as Ajia said, I want to also add my voice to say that we want to see the affirmative action bill pass in Parliament. And we want to see also a lot of women, especially in this current administration. I was actually looking forward to see quite a number of women appointed as far as the ministerial positions are concerned. We are not seeing that. And so I'll use this opportunity to call on our president that he should keep to his promise of increasing the number of women when it comes to political appointment, and also to talk to all political parties that in the next, I say elections, I think there should be some effort to increase the number of women parliamentarians in Parliament. And by so doing, I think we would be helping to champion the equality when it comes to women in development, women in leadership position. And we should also give that equal opportunity when, I would say, positions are available. You know, there's always this norm that for a woman to get a certain position, it's like you have to put in double the effort of a man, you know, to get the same position. And I think that we need to break that barrier. And I think we should also start from home as individuals, where the male child goes about playing ball and not taking part in the house choices, and we think that it's just a female who is supposed to do that. I think as females, or as mothers, as women, we need to also let our male children to appreciate the female, their female siblings or female members of the family. When we go to the market, when we go to our street, we see a lot of effort that mothers are putting in to support the homes. I'm sure there are some homes without women involvement as far as economic activity is concerned. The family would probably be, you know, will go to bed without food. I know women or some mothers who have to, you know, sell their personal belongings to send their children to school to, you know, more or less help in the family upkeep. So women should be seen by men as partners in development and should support women, not to kind of have some biases towards women, and for that matter, discouraging women who want to see themselves in certain position in our society. So once again, I celebrate all women, especially women in very top position. I will say that be the ladder to help other women down the ladder to also climb up. We should not be our own enemies as trying to suppress our own, but to support women who especially are facing stereotype, women who are facing deprivation because of the agenda. I think we should support these women to have economic independence and freedom as well.
Thank you so much, Doc.
International Women's Day.
International Women's Day. All right. On Saturday, which was last weekend, was 7th of March. Sunday, I beg your pardon, Sunday, 7th March was Independence Day. Yes, and there was a parade at Cape Coast, Ghana. What do you make of last Sunday's Independence Day celebration? Let me start with Haja.
Yeah. As we wish ourselves a happy International Women's Day, we wish ourselves a happy Independence Day too, because I think it was just following each other. The parade in Cape Coast, what I observed and very happy was the way it was organized. Unlike before, you know, you see school children and the service men and women all at the parade at the same time. So you see that children will be collapsing, military men and women will be collapsing. But I think this time around it was done in such a way that the school children marched first, whilst the military men were taking maybe a nap or resting. And then after the march, the march passed by the school children. The military people also came, not just the military, police, custom, everybody. Security personnel were there in their numbers. And then I like the way the women displayed their courage, the way they were marching, very energetic. And then the theme for this thing was building something together and whatever. The way they designed the whole thing, and then the way they zoomed it. If you're in the house watching on television, I had a visitor in my house who is not a Ghanaian. So I was telling her, that's the human beings. Is that the human beings? I said, yes, the people who march, the security people who are there, the people that have formed that. He said, oh, it's very nice. So for me, it was well celebrated. You know, earlier on we were told that maybe government, there was no money to fund the CIS march. But I understood that to be maybe celebrating it in modesty. Because if it's anything at all, we all want the CIS march to be celebrated because it is something that children really love to go and march. So maybe if you say the children are not going to march, will be something else. But it should be done modestly. Why am I saying this? We are facing some challenges as a country, continent and globally. And people are still drinking in the same streams, rivers with pigs. So if this money could be reserved and then maybe boreholes sunk in other parts of the country, just a day or 2 days before the CIS march, around this Sefi area, there was an outcry there. The people saying that they go to, no, I think it's in Bono region, that they go to Gosu, they had to go to Gosu to get proper water to do what? Potable water to drink. So if maybe the CIS march would have cost us, let me say 100,000 Ghana, I'm just giving an example. Okay. And then we can use 50,000 and do it, and use the 50,000 to go and sing Bob. Is it not better?
It's better.
They say, oh, CIS march, the government is committing this kind of amount to CIS march. But we're taking half to put boreholes in some constituencies that are suffering and not getting potable water. I see it to be better than maybe a big CIS march everywhere. Yeah. They did it regional base, if you recall. Because in Bolga like this, it was observed in Navrungo, in Western North in Bibiani. So, which means they did it in some of the districts. And I think that is how it should be. But you know, I saw some video to some remote village. Some of them were not even in proper dress. They were marching with some kind of enthusiasm. And they moved into a hut, a shed, not a proper building, to that we are marching, and Akufo-Addo is our president. So if we can use this money to go and put a 3 or 4 classroom block for these children, is it not better?
It's better.
It's better. So I think even going forward, we should look at how we celebrate our CIS march. Is it just going to march past and then a speech by the president and then we go away? At least there should be some debate, some, maybe if they can organize schools within Greater Accra, they can come and debate at maybe Accra Academy or something. They choose about 5-6 people to debate about the country, what is going on, what they've learned, what culminated into the independence. Some of them don't know. They just go and march and take some chocomilo and drink, and then they go home to sleep. So I think if we really want to allow children to really understand the CIS march, the march that they go to march under the scorching sun, we can do something to improve the celebration of the CIS march. Should I touch on what Akufo-Addo said?
No, let's talk about the Barbados Prime Minister. I think our special guest of honor, she also
in fact, I really admire the lady.
Yes.
She spoke extempo. She spoke extempo. And there was not like, she really meant
she delivered
what she really delivered. I was so touched by what she said. A very lengthy conversation, something that people will not be bold enough to say it. And that is why we should celebrate women. A woman from Barbados came to tell the whole of Africa, the whole of the world, what we are supposed to be doing. The one was fantastic. I really watched her. I didn't miss any of her speech. You saw it.
Yeah.
You saw how she spoke. I was like, what? It's not in the room whereby you say, like maybe you are in a room like this, you are really reading from.
At a point, she stopped reading from her script.
Did she read? Me, I didn't even see her reading from her
yes,
speech.
so you didn't even recognize.
No, I didn't even see her reading from her.
She stopped at a point, and it was great.
So I was like,
she's the talk of the town now.
Wow.
Yeah, she delivered.
You can see the boldness. like people who were taken away from a place to another place, and then now, look at how she is. Barbados. And then I like her demeanor, her composure. And then before she spoke, you know, she was busy taking pictures. Somebody will say, hey, a prime minister of a country, if he's in Africa, maybe the AD, he will be the one holding the camera. But this woman was very down to earth to capture what she wants to see at the March Past in Cape Coast. I think it's a day to remember. It's a day to celebrate. It's a day to really remember this bold woman who came to tell us what maybe people will not be bold enough to tell us.
I think I like the fact that she said, I mean, there cannot be first class and second class countries.
In fact, you see, when I hear third world country, I said, what is this? Because the Europeans, be it America or European, it is our resources that they use to build their...
But they see themselves as first class.
What kind of... It's total rubbish. It's total rubbish. Anyway, I've not seen any white person or any European who was buried in the sky. If I see one, then I know that there are differences.
Class.
You see, we are allowing them to classify us as such.
Second class. Because we have all the natural resources. We have everything. So African, we cannot harness our natural resources, tap the technical know-how of the people. We have engineers, we have doctors, we have people who have excelled, who are even being engaged by the European and America to even better their economy. And then why can't we also come together and then mine our gold, mine our coal and everything, and decide on what price that we are going to sell? Then we say we don't have the technology, we don't have the resources, we don't have... So gold, diamond, 98% will be flying over our head, we don't even know. So they have the right to call us second-class citizens. But it's incumbent on us to say enough, it's enough. Because the black person is capable of minding his own business. But we behave as if we don't have anything up there. If not, how can you say this is a third world country or this is a second-class citizen? Meanwhile, the country you are referring to as a second-class citizen or third world, their people were the people that were enslaved to go and build the economy of America, Europe, and what have you. So how can you call such people second-class citizens? You are still mining our gold. You are still taking our oil. You are still taking everything on the African continent. So African leaders must rise up. They must rise up and stop this begging everywhere. Meanwhile, we have what it takes to make our economy booming. They will even decide for us whether inflation is what percent. And then they will also say that the market for this commodity is going down because they will decide the kind of price they... What if one day we just get up as Africans and say nobody should mine in our continent? Salt, we have it. Don't we have it? We do. We should stop eating the sardine and tinapa that is being imported. Even our children, their taste has changed. It has changed. They don't... People, if you prepare treason with dawa you eat it. You must eat it. Me, my house, that is the law. What is cooked is what everybody will eat. We have funeralized our tongue in such a way that our own even food. Can you imagine the rice that we cultivate in this country? They will say every government institution where they cook, all schools in Ghana should be served Ghana rice, made in Ghana. Tomatoes, instead of us throwing them away because they are getting rotten, we preserve it and give it to schools to cook. Are we not going to boost our economy? But we import from other countries, the paste from China, paste from Italy. We don't even know the composition of the paste that we are eating. In Nigeria, I watched one doctor's video that the food we are eating is what is causing this kidney problem. That because Nigeria, they have a high kidney problems there. And they did the research
is the food that we are eating. We prefer to eat food that has been polluted. How can you plant something today, tomorrow it has sprouted? And so it has a very good this thing yield, and you are eating and consuming it. Let's eat our Ghana rice. Let's eat our Ghana beans. Let's eat our African food, so that we'll leave our money within our continent, within our country. But look, go to the shops, the foreign goods. People will not buy made in Ghana, and people bring finished products from their country, from other country, stuff it in our on the shelves, and then the one that is produced in Ghana, because of certain tax that they pay, the cost is higher than the imported ones. But meanwhile, ours is healthier than the imported ones. So which one do you want to choose? Do you want to choose the one that is not healthier, so that you go and pay medical bills, or you take the one that will enhance your immune system in such a way that disease, be it corona or malaria or anything, will be a thing of the past in your system? We have to think outside the box. Nobody can come and develop our country for us. No matter the loan, no matter the grants, if we, within ourselves, we don't do the right thing, I'm not sure anybody. That is why people will call us third world country. So I stand in solidarity with the Barbadian Prime Minister that nobody should be classified as a second-class citizen, because when they cut, when you cut my body and cut a white man's body or woman, it's blood that will come. Water will not come out of my, and blood coming out of them. This is a colonial mentality. You see, mental slavery. Nkrumah said it. We had political independence. No, not even now the political independence now is neocolonialism. Because if it's anything at all, we are being ruled indirectly. Because our budget is being supported by IMF and World Bank. Our gold price, we don't decide. Our oil, we don't have even enough percentage there. So what are we doing to ourselves? What are we doing to ourselves? Let's start the operation, feed ourselves. Let's start the domestication. Let's buy what is made in our country and see whether our CD will not stabilize. How can we be pricing things in dollars in this country? How?
Even rent.
Rent. So I was surprised when the president was saying that buildings cost about $300,000, and we shouldn't have even quoted it in dollars, because we're not supposed to sell in dollars. I went to Rwanda, or was it? No, not Rwanda, Mozambique. I saw a very nice dress and wanted to buy it. I was with Dr. Hanabisu, and then one lady from Ashanti region representing the CPP, and another person from NDC, I've forgotten the person. We entered the shop. They told us the price. I gave $100. Oh, no.
You don't take it.
They won't take it. I should go and change it and bring it. So when I went, the forest, they've closed at 4. They've closed. So I was begging them. I said, no, we've closed. So when it is 4, they have closed. They have closed. No business. So there's discipline. You understand? But you go to a shop, if they mention a price, how much in dollars? We are even the people asking how much in dollars, as if we earn dollars. We are not even proud of our money. You give somebody 10 cedis, the person will start squeezing it. And the other day I asked the woman, I said, why are you squeezing the money? If it's $10, will you squeeze it? No. Oh, Hajia, sorry. Before she said, we don't even value our own currency. You see? So for me, what the Prime Minister said is absolutely true. People didn't want, people cannot say it. It took a woman to travel all the way from Barbados to come and tell Africans we shouldn't allow anybody to classify us as second. Me, I'm not a second citizen. Me, I'm first citizen. I see myself as first citizen because I won't allow anybody to look down upon me.
Okay.
I'm not going to allow that.
Thank you, Hajia. Doc.
Yeah, well, 65th independence anniversary. Well, I want to wish all Ghanaians a happy 65th Independence Day. I will want to say that, on the contrary, I was expecting that a time like this, that Ghana is in crisis, our 65th anniversary day will be a day of sober reflection, a day that our president probably would have addressed the nation to tell us the reality of our economy, to call on Ghanaians that this is the time we should put partisanship aside and come together to resolve this mess. At the moment, we are in crisis. It will not be long if nothing is done about it. We will be heading towards a catastrophe. Surprisingly, we still see the norm of people assembling at one place, vehicles moving from one breadth of the country to another. We still see some level of, again, the taxpayers' money used that cannot be accounted for. So yes, we had 65th Independence Day celebration across the country with a national one at Cape Coast. So what next? We saw vehicles that were parked or had been parked for months moved from Accra to Cape Coast. We saw ministers, again in latest V8, drove all the way from Accra to Cape Coast. A number of vehicles, latest vehicles, bulletproof vehicles. Honestly, I did not watch the entire this because it was Sunday. I went to church, and when I came back, I just watched a few clips. But when I tuned in my TV, I think they had just closed, and the ministers were entering their vehicles, and so I was trying to count the number of vehicles. Unfortunately, I couldn't because, of course, you know, and I asked myself, is this the country that is in crisis? The president had come to give a very nice speech, including Ghanaians will resist coup. In fact, the question I kept asking myself, why are we even mentioning this word coup? Why coup? All over the world, we all know that coups have not been able to achieve their intended purposes. And I don't think any Ghanaian would want coup in Ghana. And so I'm just really wondering why this word, you know, coup.
He actually declared.
Coup. Why are we hearing this word? And I think that as a country, as a people, we need to be concerned because we are seeing these things around us. 65 years after independence, we still have children learning under trees. We still have children learning under shade. We still have people drinking from the same source of water with pigs, with animals. So you ask yourself, what are we celebrating? Are we really independent? Are we really independent? When people would still have to dictate to us how our resources should be used. They give you loan and they tell you how that money should be utilized. at our resources, the natural resources. I was so surprised and so devastated when I heard that all the gold that is mined in Ghana, all the mineral resources, let me just put it that way, only 3%, less than 5% come to us as a country. And is this what we are celebrating? Look at cocoa. The last season, our cocoa yield or production have gone down. To over 50%. Is this what we are celebrating? LEAP is in arrears. School feeding program funds are in arrears. As for the health sector, the least talk about it, the better. Look at our roads. Just recently, UTAC had to go on strike. Look at our drivers. So is this achievement that we are celebrating, that we saw people dressed and assemble to celebrate? When market women still can't afford the price of a shop and so had to go and sell on pavements. When graduates, you see some graduates in washing bay, washing cars. Graduates, this is not an exaggeration. You see graduates selling bread on the street. 65 years after independence. It's so sad that even the boot that our security service personnel wear, we import all these things, including toothpick. 65 years after independence, we import virtually everything. All we are good at is very good speeches. How can we blame the Western world for our suffering? How can we say it is the white man that have impoverished us after we liberated ourselves 65 years? We still are not liberated as far as economic affairs are concerned. Look at the price of fuel. Yet we are commercial producing country as far as crude oil is concerned. When we talk about independence, I think what we need to celebrate as a people is not just we physically chasing the white man out of our country and taking affairs of our own destiny, but we should also be able to celebrate our economic success, which is totally missing, which is totally out of the equation. And I think that Ghana as a country, or Ghana as a people, we should sit and have a sober reflection where we have gone wrong as a nation and need to go back to pick these pieces and pieces together and build our country. Look at Kwame Nkrumah. 65 years ago, the vision he had for Ghana. Tamamoto Way, at that time, he saw the need for it. Our port, the industries. Now you go and you see these warehouses, some of them virtually bought by churches. instead of us using these places as a place to employ more people, we virtually collapse them. Look at what's the name? This sugar factory at Commander. Look at what has happened to it. And we are celebrating what? So for me, it's unfortunate we are where we are today as a people. And I felt that 65 years, especially the current crisis we found ourselves, I was expecting, well, when I heard that there was no fund, I was really just expecting us to have a very moderate celebration, having our president addressing the nation on that day and calling on everyone to come on board. Let's build our own country, because nobody would help us build this country but we ourselves. But instead, we again saw some level of spending, the fuel that they, fuel those various vehicles from Accra to their various locations are part of taxpayers' money. So after the celebration, what next? What has that celebration brought to us as a people in terms of development, in terms of the pocket of individual Ghanaian? For me, I see it as a, I don't want to say a total waste, but probably for this particular year was really not necessary.
Doc, something really caught my attention on Sunday. I mean, we saw students with placards campaigning for the E-levy to be passed. Doc, do you think it's appropriate to involve children in politics?
You see, it's so sad that politicians sometimes use people for their own political gain. I have always wondered,
school children,
what is in it?
Of course.
What is in it, this E-levy? What is it that some individual, especially this administration, what is there that they really seems to benefit to the extent that an individual, an amount of 120,000 could be paid into an account of an individual to come and vote for E-levy? Well, the reality.
How much?
Oh, 120. But that, even that one cry is small.
In your the MP's
account.
So
that she will come and vote for it. But even that one, that is even nothing. The reality is that even the flight she came with, it's alleged.
Okay.
It's alleged to have been rented at a cost of $4,800 per hour. So you can imagine if the trip is, I don't know, 8 hours or 12 hours, the amount of money that has gone into it. So you ask yourself, what is in there that individual seems to benefit? But you see, some of us had or have always suspected that there was something more than, we just want the money to develop the country, blah, blah, blah. It is totally wrong as leaders to mortgage our future in order to enjoy today. And that is exactly what this administration is planning as far as this E-levy is concerned. I am not the one saying it. The road minister said it, that they intend to securitize the E-levy so that they can get loan. After they borrowed 221 billion and counting, they still want to. These school children, I will say that probably they are just not aware. We have seen instances where people had blackout.
We
promise to sustain NAPCO job, and we have delivered. We promise to I don't know, I've been forgotten some of the things.
PSHS is here to stay.
Exactly. One district, one factory. One district, one factory we have delivered. One village, one dam. And you ask yourself, if there was really a dam, why is the price of maize now 500 Ghana cedis? People are attributing it to bad weather condition. And the dam was meant for irrigation during dry season. So if indeed those dams existed, why couldn't farmers use the water to irrigate their farm when they had intra drought spell during the season? I would say that as politicians, let's leave out those school children. They are innocent people.
I mean, they are even adults who have the placards, yet they don't even know what is written.
You know, it's so sad. Sometimes,
they don't understand what
sometimes, yes, people are just giving some 20 cedis, 10 cedis. It's so sad. Sometimes when we see people, you know, allowing themselves to be used as political tool. I have seen it. In fact, I have seen it during the 2020 election. Look, it is not a joke.
2020 election. Let me tell you, it's not 2020 election. These two political parties are guilty of that.
I am saying
let's leave it.
Just actually, wait and let me make my point. I have seen it, and I couldn't believe it.
Vote for the convention papers.
And I think that
to come and change Ghana the ranks of these two parties.
Look, Hajia.
You, I'm supporting you. Don't worry. Even if my party will discipline you for supporting you, I don't care. I'm supporting you. I have my reasons.
You know, NDC. I always say, look. We are, people should not say NDC and NPP, they are the same. We are not the same. NDC is a democratic party. It's so surprising when people ask us, what are some of the social activities that or policies NDC have implemented? I get so surprised, so alarmed. If not for NDC, what would have happened to Ghana when COVID struck? If not for NDC, you remember our health minister.
Well, it's Kolebu built by NDC or 37.
I said,
give credit to CPP too.
It is. I'm saying that if not for NDC, look at when COVID came. They made University of Ghana Medical Center.
Madam Host,
VIP.
Look at my friend. That's what they agree.
I'll give you time.
Dodowa was virtually made a center.
That.
So honestly, look at Ameridale when it came. How the MPP went to court over it. Today, what has happened? They have sent it to their stronghold. If not for visionary leader like His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, what would have happened to our light? You ask yourself, MPP when they came, how many megawatts had they added to the energy sector? Virtually nothing.
I don't know.
All we are seeing is debt. All we are seeing is issuing of Eurobonds, borrowing to the tune of 221 billion and counting, and we cannot see anything for it. Free SHS is in crisis. Now headmasters are bold enough to speak and said, look, we want some reform or some review. When NDC talked about review, they went about deceiving people that review means cancellation. They go to school for 2 months and come home for 3 months. Look at what is happening. LEAP, our poor, the vulnerable in society. There is arrears there. For Christ's sake, Ghana, where are we heading towards? And this is where we want transparency, we want sincerity, we want modesty, and we expect our leaders to lead the way. I expect people to start packing their V8 if truly Ghana is in crisis and they feel that indeed we need to live modest life. We don't expect ministers lining up from one region to another, from one town hall meeting to another, to convince us that we should buy in for E-levy to be passed. When we have Auditor General's report saying that 12.8 billion cedis have been misappropriated, and E-levy is only to raise 6.8 or so billion. You have 12.8 billion leaking. So why can't we block those leakages? And that should be enough to suffice for whatever development we need as far as E-levy is concerned. So I think that, well, this issue of we don't want coup, nobody really want coup. Because if there's coup, I think myself as a woman,
the people saying about the coup before the president came in. That's one.
So you see, no, I had you. The
reality who is thinking about coup is mad.
The reality is that there are certain fundamentals. There are certain underlying basis.
Sitting here talking.
I'm saying that it is not. So we need to sit down and have a conversation as a country.
Thank you so much for your submission. Let me remind you that we are live on Facebook at Pan African Television, and so I trust and hope you're following the conversation. And so do send in your thoughts and your comments via our Facebook page at Pan African TV, and I'll find time and read it loud and clear for you. You're watching the International Women's Day edition of Good Morning Africa show. Let's go for a quick break. When we are back, the show continues.
Let's enjoy our
Trasacco Estates, home to Accra's most beautiful and luxurious homes, presents its newest addition, Trasacco Springs, a premium master planned community of service plots surrounded by an exhaustive list of amenities. The gated community of Tema to Accra Motorway presents you the finest opportunity to own a land that suits your preferred size, budget, and payment terms. Trasacco Springs is open to you for development. Our on-site sales executives are ready. Call on 055 659 2658.
African Center for Capacity Building, AFCA, organizes the following executive and advanced certificate programs like Executive Certificate in Project Management, Executive Certificate in Human Resource Management, Executive Certificate in Real Estate and Property Management, Executive Certificate in Data and Records Keeping, Executive Certificate in Monitoring and Evaluation, Executive Certificate in Logistics and Transport Management, Executive Certificate in CCTV Monitoring and Installation. AFCA, where capacity building is our priority. For registration and enquiries, please call 0244 405047, 0242135523. We have our branches in Accra, Tamale, Kumasi, and Wa. Saturdays and weekdays sessions are available. Admission is still in progress. Enroll now. Join the African professionals. AFCA, where capacity building is our priority.
Madam, me, I have still not got the money for that list of expensive building materials you sent to me. The price of the iron rods have been increased too much, added.
Madam, relax. Look, that's not why I did call. I just visited IPCP, where the engineers told me everything about Trasacco fast floor.
Trawanko, please, those people are expensive. Are they not the people building those big houses in town? I beg going to guy.
Madam, in fact, I used to think the same until I visited their office today, and they gave me an estimate of how much it will cost. No more, the estimate is free. It's cheaper than the one I even sent you.
Wow.
Building contractors, foremen, masons. Visit IPCP, the Trasacco Fast Floor. Engineers will assist you build an affordable, faster, and stronger building.
Oh, madam. It is done.
Wow.
Trasacco Fast Floor. Stronger, faster,
Thank you so much. No, I'm sure. No, they didn't capture that. Your mic is off, so they didn't capture that. Thank you so much for choosing to stay with us. You're still watching Good Morning Africa show. This is the International Women's Day edition of Good Morning Africa show. Happy International Women's Day to all women out there, especially our lovely viewers who are watching live across 46 African countries and some parts of Europe, and also those watching us live on Facebook. We do appreciate your time and your love. This day is set aside to commemorate the cultural, political, and socio-economic development of women, yes, globally. And so, as I'm saying, I'm excited. You can see I'm so excited. Yes, so we have been in conversation with Hajia Hamdatu, aspiring presidential candidate for the CPP and former acting chairperson, CPP. Also have Dr. Benedicta Yaya Fosu-Mensah. Oh,
some of the men understand it.
Dr. Benedicta Yaya is part of the NDC communications team. And so, Doc and Hajia, I would want us to talk about some stories that have made headlines on the front pages of the newspapers. And let's talk about police robbery gang busted, bullion van robberies, 2 cops fingered.
Yes,
2 police officers have been arrested
on one of the stations when I was driving
here. Okay.
I always tell myself that this attack on bullion vehicles, there's an informant from the police to the people working in the bank.
The banks.
Because a billion can be moving without money. Are you aware of that? Maybe it is now going to take the money.
Take the money.
So it is the police.
Why does it only happens when there's
money inside?
Exactly.
So you see, it is good that Dr. Dampare, the IGP, and his men and women are doing their best to get rid of bad nuts in the police service. Because if police are supposed to protect us, police are supposed to give us internal security, and then this same policemen will be found culpable of doing this crime against humanity. Let me put it that way. Because if it's anything at all, as a policeman, you have no business. I remember some time back, a policeman, they went to rob, is it a forest bureau or something, or somebody cashed money, and then they went and robbed the person. They used a police vehicle, but they changed the number plate. Unfortunately, on their part, that number plate shifted. So the person was able to capture the number of the police van. One of the police personnel was somebody, let me put it that way, who, when he was questioned, he was crying that this is my first time. I said, there's always a first time.
Yeah, for the thief.
There's always a first time. So I think it's most unfortunate. That is why maybe if people are going to be taken into the security services, there must be some thorough background check. You know, people are looking at what is happening in the world, what is happening in Africa, what is happening in Ghana, people trying to be rich overnight. They will sleep and wake up the following day, they are riding Pajaro,
Maserati,
and then there's another one, Range Rover. Range, okay, I'm using range. Me, I always sit with my children and tell them, please, me a wire, monsieur. Don't look at somebody's act and then go into it. That is why I'll salute my son, Abdul Manan Osman Esquire. When he was in Legon, he came to tell me that he was under a tree busy reading. Then some 2 young men pulled over to say that, they want to have a chat with him. He said, what? Though there's a group of people who will help in paying your school fees. And I said, paying, who are they? When they mentioned the caliber of people, then he realized that it's homosexual group. So he came and was telling me, if not because of the way I've been talking to them in the house, maybe he would have bought into that idea. And that time I traveled outside this country. And then he told me he really suffered for some time because what I was giving him was not coming because I was not around. So parents should also be talking to their children. Because if my son is going to the military, if my son is going to the police, I should be able to talk to this son or daughter of mine that there are so many attractions out there. Somebody can go on an operation, he will succeed. Maybe you will enter and then there's trouble. That's why they said, some people, there's a proverb in Nara that somebody will enter and be dancing, maybe their drama is dancing, people will pour money on the person. Somebody can dance from morning and to evening, nobody even put a dime. So please, you should know where you are coming from. You should rather struggle with your sweat and God will bless it than looking for shortcuts. So for me, we shouldn't just look at these 2 policemen. We've had cases of soldiers, we had cases of people in security, even in the banks and what have you, because those Sakawa people who sort of gets involved with people outside and get some money, it is the bankers who cash the money for them. It is the bankers.
Yeah, they are friends with the bankers.
They are friends with the bankers. So it is a whole cartel, be it police, the banks, and what have you. So for me, those people that have been arrested, that they will give us better and further particulars or information about. We should be fast in the investigation. Put it out there. That will serve as a deterrent to people who are thinking that way, because you have no business to go and attack a billion vehicle that is taking money to another bank.
Hajia, you know, a lot of people have raised, there are these concerns raised that they're attributing this police robberies to the fact that, I mean, we see political parties recruiting their own person. So at the end of the day, we don't get to recruit, I mean, those who qualify for the job.
You see, as for that, for us to stop it,
I think that's another discussion.
I'm telling you, before protocol lists, there were crimes in the police service. But I'm not sure any politician would like to recruit or take somebody who is a criminal. Definitely MPs, definitely ministers, definitely people in leadership would like to look for employment for people they know. But that is why, even if you are looking for a job for somebody, know the background of the person. You don't say, because I'm a minister, I have 5 slots, then I'll just go to my constituency, 1, 2, 3, 4, come on. At least you should do some background check. I remember one of my seniors in the secondary school, he's from Yendi. Then he was going to be taken as one of the officers of the BNI. They went to Yendi, came to the school that he attended, from primary school, to check his background before he was taken to the BNI. But I'm not sure that is being done now. So it is incumbent on, even if a minister brings somebody or an MP bringing somebody, I think the police administration have a structure. After even taking the person or before, certain questions need to be asked. That's why there's referees, 2 referees in the form that I think that you are going to fill. They should be able to ask one person that whose name is on your form to find out whether he or she knows this person. So that if at the end of the day, if there's a problem, you say, so you knew this person was lying and you recommended him or her. It's a sad situation that police people, security people will be involved in robbery. This is not the, you know, there was some around the Kaswa, is it around where the central time of Accra, where is that? Okanshi or something, where a policeman was shot somewhere last year or 2 years ago.
Last 2 years.
Last
year.
Yes. A police was shot.
Kaswa,
the building was, yes.
Kaswa.
They killed the man.
Kaswa.
They killed the man. You see, some of them come with a bad, they just coming to kill. Because maybe they're killing because I learned even this one that was arrested. He shot the policeman because the man saw him and said, he mentioned the name, so he shot him. So even when I was listening to Peace FM today, they said if even a criminal enters your house and is going to steal and you know the person, don't mention the
Shut
thing.
up.
Because the person will shoot you. I remember 2 years ago, a criminal skill on my wall. It was light off. So we're all lying in the hall with Mike. We're just lying down, conversing, and then we slept. Right. So, then I was seeing some flashlights through the window. So I said, who is this? Then I saw a stick through the window. So I said, barao, barao, barao. Then one jumped, and I saw one. And I said, what are you doing on my wall? That, oh, he heard me saying barao. I said, are you awesome boat? Where is your house? Over there. And you heard me saying barao, barao, and you're able to scale on my wall to come and help me. Who asked you? So I left for a television station like this in the morning. I left him, and I said, But we're able to, when we shouted, he left the stick, so one phone was not taken, one phone was taken already. But that time we should have even bailed it. It would have rang within, because there were two. So what I did was that when I went away and was coming home, so I took an Uber. So I engaged the guy in a conversation. Apparently he's a soldier man. I didn't know. So I said, hey, something happened in my house. So I narrated the story. He said, Haja, you caught the thief and left the thief. So by the time I got to my house, the man came to my house saying he was looking for me. He was coming to help me, and I'm saying he's a thief. And I said, So I went to his house with a soldier. Man, but they don't know he's a soldier. So I narrated my story. Then the soldier said, Haja, you go and stand this way. Then he also narrated. He said, if Haja were to be having a gun and shoot you, what are you going to do? He said he heard Barao and he came to help. So the guy looked at the distance from his house to my house. Then I concluded he was a thief. So we took him to Pokwasi police station. And then he was detained there. That night, the boss came. What do you have? And somebody will come and steal from us. I don't have anything. After insulting me, then the policewoman was giving him sign. Oh, the man was going ratatatatatatatata. Then later when he came, he said, I've just called the Attorney General's office. I said, which Attorney General? Gloria Kufu. I said, she's my friend. The last time I checked, her former husband is my very good friend. I told him that he's calling somebody from the Attorney General's office. So when I was shouting, the woman at the other side was asking him, is that the lady who is shouting? That yes. And she said, I shouldn't go and call Attorney General. I should go and call this thing himself. So later on, when he realized this is Haja CPP, then he came, wanted to be friend to me. That, oh, Haja, I said, I beg you. Because that day, in fact, I was in Chelewota in my daughter's trousers. Because I got angry and just wore. So after some investigations, we realized that they've been stealing from me. Most of the time, if I watch TV in the hall, I'll sleep there. The other day, I came and saw the whole room was scattered. Books, and apparently they took my laptop, leaving the charger. You see? So criminals are criminals. And they should be treated as criminals. Because you cannot kill, take money, and go and share the booty, and leave the family of this person as orphans and widows. So for me, those two police people, maybe they are not the only two people.
Yeah, I mean, investigation.
They should do thorough investigation. Maybe it's a cartel. They will go and rob and they will share. If you don't want to be in, that's why I'm saying every profession is a calling. If you see a journalist who is not performing well, then he's not supposed to be a journalist. How for do? That's why the person went into journalism. If you see a teacher who is not performing or who is not very good at teaching or treating kids well, he's not a teacher. He's not likewise nurses. Because I said it the other day that I went to Germany with the way they were treating my daughter who is the patient is the way they were treating me. Like I'm also a patient. There's some people in this country, the way they treat people in the hospital is even meanwhile there are good people out there, there are good doctors, there are good nurses, there are good policemen and women. So we shouldn't allow some riff-raffs to come and tarnish the image of the police service. Be it military or police, they should name and shame them. It's sad. That's why we are celebrating women. Look, there's one policewoman at Titegu. 3-4 days ago, a criminal escaped from the cells. She ran, apprehended him, but he hit her. So she even went to the hospital. So we have to celebrate Ajua Nkrumah of Titegu police station. I read it in the system. Very brave woman. You see, she would have allowed the criminal to go. Maybe you say, please, let me go. I have some money to give it to you. But she refused. Raised alarm. People helped her to apprehend him back into the cells. Women, given the chance, they will do fantastic job. So the men in the police service who are disturbing the police service should be named and shamed. We don't want such things to happen in this country because our police service are doing very well. Look at everywhere you pass, they are as early as 6 o'clock, you know, they are the traffic lights. As early as 6 o'clock, even at the interchange, when you just listen, at first, they come there 5 minutes or 5:45, they are there. Likewise, the Achimota station, they are there.
Even at night.
In the night, they are there, giving us protections. So if you don't want to be a policeman, go and look for something else and leave the police service to operate professionally. That is how I see it. It's sad. It's a disgrace. They should mention their names and pictures. Like the one they did to those 2 people who robbed people on the Jolo Road and then their number plates shifted and they caught them. I saw their pictures on the front page of the graphic. I still have that graphic. I still have that graphic. Because when I saw it, I was sad. I have a reason for being sad. Because one of them, I knew, if I see him, the way he dresses and walks, you see, oh, Ajay. And then when I saw, I thought, what?
Wow.
They say, shine, be a shine. That is, no.
It's true.
Hey! Let me leave it here.
Thank you, Hajia.
Let me leave it here.
Police robbery, your take?
Yeah, I think it's really a very sad time for Ghana. And I want to say that this is not the first time we've heard of security personnel. That's the police and then the military. There are some miscreant or some individual within this service engaged in robbery. I think not too long ago there was even a car snatching in Tamale. I think the gentleman said he was stopped somewhere. Is it Bupe or no? Somewhere in Tamale, and the car snatcher said they requested for his car document, which he didn't have on him, and they said he should meet them at the barracks for the car. And then when he got to barracks, I mean, the people were nowhere to be found. So he had to blow alarm. And surprisingly, the people were apprehended somewhere in Bupe or the Yape area, sending the car to Kumasi. And I mean, further investigation revealed that one of the people involved happened to be a military personnel. So a robbery, well, but security men involved in robbery, I would say this is not the first time. But I think this is something that as a country we need to look at very well. First, the banking sector. Before a robbery takes place, there's always some form of information out. So people monitor the victim, and before they strike, I mean, there's a well calculation done before that time. So for a bullion van to be robbed, we need to first also make some checks about the people that work within that sector or the particular van. It could be anybody. It could be the driver, it could be the policeman, it could be probably the banker, you know. Yeah, the banker probably would have informed maybe this gang that, well, at this time, we are expecting money coming from this area towards this bank. You know, all this information. So I think as far as security is concerned, these are things we need to put measure in place. So I'm happy that recently the security service is advising banks to get the appropriate vehicle to transport funds from one bank to another. But then security men involved in robbery is another thing we need to look at as a country. Police are supposed to be friends of the nation or friends of the citizens. They are supposed to protect us. We are supposed to run to them when we find ourselves in danger. And to hear that a policeman is rather a robber, it kind of sends a lot of fear and shiver to some of us. And we are seeing some of these things, I would say, as a result of the procedure that is followed during recruitment. What background check are people in authority doing when they are recruiting this individual? It's very important. It's so sad that we have heard that recruitment to the military and to police have been somehow politicized to the extent that the percentage of individuals that are recruited into these sectors by politicians are virtually more than people who just go there as individuals without anybody pushing the application through. And that should be very worrying. We have seen recently policemen or people in police uniform wearing beer, and we all know that there are some codes of conduct within the service that a policeman is not supposed to wear beer. We see some policemen wearing earring, and we know that these people cannot be policemen that are recruited through the normal or regular channel or procedure into the service. So it is worrying when we allow services or sector like the security sector to be polarized by politics, or to allow politicians to kind of tighten and pull strings. This becomes the result of some of these actions. We have seen, or I have heard, some individual boasting of being able to support a number of individuals into the police service. This, I will say that, though supporting as to, okay, bring the application, the time is right, fine, but as to giving this individual protocol, then it becomes very worrying. Recently, we saw how a phone seller at Cycle recruited into the security, or being a national security, or recruited into the national security. And this individual was given a weapon just after 2 weeks training. These are all things that are very worrying, because there seems to be little check or background check of these individuals. Some could be already, before they even came to the service, they were already armed robbers, they were already landguards, they were already people involved in petty stealing. Their coming into the service would not change that behavior overnight. So I think that as a country going forward, we should allow our institutions to work independently. We should not allow politics to have so much influence on this institution. At the end of the day, this is what we will produce as a country. If a policeman, if we are seeing persistent policemen engage in robbery, then it becomes so alarming when in the night you are driving and a policeman stops you. You are not too sure, is it a man or is it? So I think that I want to commend the IGP and I want to plead that we need to fish out all the criminals that by virtue of politics have found their way into the service, because it is very important that as citizens we should trust our uniformed men. But with the current happening, it becomes a bit scary and worrying when you want to trust someone in a police or a military uniform because of some of these happening.
Thank you, Doc. Now, finally, let's touch on this one: inflation to rise further. Finance Minister Ken Foriata.
Well, I'm not an economist, and as for the inflation figures, if the Minister of Finance is telling us that inflation figures are going to rise, it is something that is worrying. But the economics will tell you that if the inflation is up, doesn't mean some. I read some article like that, but for me, what can be done to cushion Ghanaians is where my interest is.
Yes.
Because I think goods and services prices are going high, and it is difficult for our take-home pay to take us home. I think it is just taking us to the junction. And as the finance minister, what mechanism is he putting in place with the economic management team to make sure that the inflation that was at a single digit, because I think it even came down to about 9-point-something% some time ago. So what is making the figure now rise? Then they have to tell us. But my worry is the fuel prices going up.
Fuel price.
We are producing fuel, but I think we are still suffering because we don't refine our own fuel. We buy sort of finished product, trying to enrich other countries, because if the finished product is sold back to us, it's not the same price that they take it out from. So I think as a country we should look at how we are going to make Tema oil refinery work, instead of if there are some tubes that they have to change for our fuel to be able to be refined. Even the percentage that we take, we cannot even refine it here. It's a cause for worry. Definitely, if we're not able to manage our economy, if we're not able to look at the way we can tighten the loopholes, as Doctor said, because for me, if we take the Public Account Committee report, the auditor's report from 1993 till today, I'm not sure we have any business going around borrowing or doing things that might not inure to the benefit of Kenyans. So inflation going up, it was expected. Looking at what is happening, it is expected. But the government needs to do something so that we will not feel the effect of all this. Yesterday, like this, I was trying to buy, or you know, Ramadan is just around the corner. So we normally prepare a month ahead, and whatever we are buying has quadrupled. And yesterday I couldn't buy because I was short of the funds. If I'm not lucky, today when I enter the market, it will even go further. So it's a bit difficult. We know that's maybe fine. The government, when you talk, they said COVID, no government worker has been sent home. So still they are paying people who are, but I think we can do something that will use to cushion our people. What did America owe more than us? Their inflation is higher than us. Listen to GDP is higher. But what are they doing that the people are not feeling the impact greatly? Because of certain mechanisms they have put in place to cushion their people. So I think government too can do it for Ghanaians. so that even if they talk about inflation, people will not panic.
Doc.
Inflation to rise further. What else can I say than to laugh? Because I think 2016. 2016.
We are done. Almost, yeah.
We had an economic messiah that was to come. And thankfully, Ghanaians gave the economic messiah the triumphant entry. Surprisingly, the people that told us that they have the men, they have the women to come and manage this economy, are not telling us that give us the solution. That people just come and criticize without giving the solution. Oh, really? You want solution?
Yes, because
we were informed. We were informed that
if you have any solution,
please bring it on the table.
Yes.
We were informed that Ghana was going to move away from a taxation economy to a production economy, which means that normally if you are producing, it means what? Your economy is booming, and once your economy is booming, there will be no inflation. And we're told that the keys to our economic woes have been given to IGP to keep for safekeeping.
But the IGP is no more there. Or he opened it before.
And then we so I don't know whether the IGP decided to go and leave the key in the market square, and somebody, maybe one of the police armed robbers, went for the keys and decided to open the door that locked the prison gate that we were in. You see, when we allow politics to kind of go deep down us and we do a lot of propaganda, this is what happened. This is what happened. Surprisingly, the chairman to the economic planning of our country, the economic team, is virtually tight-lipped as far as the happening of this country is concerned with our economy. 2016, the cedi to a dollar was how much? 3.8. 3 cedis, 80 pesos. You have a dollar. Today,
you don't produce it to go further.
Today, we are at what? 7? Is it 6?
6 something, yeah.
Yeah, 6.3.
6.3,
There are some who even, in fact, they always say, they give us a figure, 6.3, but they say you get it some places even over 7 cities. This is the reality.
So what's the solution?
The solutions are there. You see, we are just refusing. One, we need to cut down on expenditure. The government size is just too much for a country. It's 30 million people. You have almost 120 ministers, all giving V8. Their cars being fueled by taxpayers' money. They are giving clothing allowances. They are giving security men who are paid by the taxpayer. They are giving, refreshment, entertaining allowance. All by the poor, by the taxpayers. This is the first step if we want to reduce the woes we are seeing. Secondly, our flagship programs, we need to review them. There are some that are not working, that are just burdening the poor. We need to look at them. Third, the people who are not formally employed by the government, but we just have them walking in the corridors of ministers, of MPs, of government appointees, and they are being paid. We need to look at those numbers, the number of people engaged in these things. The leakages, 12.8 billion Ghana cedis. I mean, if we are able to block that, we don't even need to go to any Western world for a loan. If you are able to do that. Then the other thing is to look at even the distribution of salaries is something that we need to look at. You have some individual earning as much as 75,000 Ghana cedis a month in this country.
People are enjoying, you know.
And these people, the sad thing is that this is the take home. But these people have side issues. When they travel, they are per diem. What they even take as per diems. So that 75 is just saving. They don't even touch it. So that is something that we need to look at as a country. Projects that we know are not in the benefit of the country. We need to say no to such projects. And we need to also have probably a national development plan that is followed irrespective of the government that is in the realm of affairs. If not, we'll always be throwing money away. Look at the number of E-blocks in the bush. Look at the number of hospitals in the bush. And yet we have this current administration starting something all over. Within 4 years, they will not finish. They will leave it. I'm sure 2025, NDC will definitely come to power. We will want to go back to our E-blocks. What happened to the projects that NPP left behind? These are all wastage. And I think that as a country, if we want to do something about our economic woes, these are things we should be doing. We expect our ministers to pack their V8 and start driving saloon cars. That is only, it's only at that point that we can feel the sincerity in calling Ghanaians that we should come together and fight to bring back the economy back on track, or to bring the economy back on track. But other than that, I mean, if you're in your V8 with air conditioning, from Accra to Tamale and back. And the most annoying part is you are in traffic and one minister is saying you that go inside the gutter and give me way.
It's not only minister, that's one. That's our road. They put the sari. I don't know why.
And then you ask yourself, are these not the people that came to us and said they were going to protect the public space? They were coming to work for us. How come now they feel more important than us? That we have to go inside the gutter with our cars so that they can go their way. So for me, I would say, well, the solutions are there. We either take it or we leave it. But it is so clear. I mean, I'm not an economist, but if there is an inflation and you know the root cause of inflation, you should be able to do it. We should go into production. The boots that the military wear, why can't the what's the name? The factory in Kumasi, the shoe factory, why can't they produce it? Why can't we do it? Toothpick, we have a lot of timbers that are being exported. Why can't we do it? Rice. Why can't we promote our own rice, our local rice? Why can't we promote our local rice? There are a lot of things we can do.
Mr. J of Ghana Rice, good morning.
Look at, listen, our mining industry, our mining sector. I think Minister of Trade and Industry, we should start looking at how we can add value to our gold. If an investor comes to extract gold, that investor should come with another company that will convert that gold into jewelry. So we should be able to add value to our gold. Surprisingly, we send our gold, they refine or add value to it, and then we go back and import it into our country. I think we need to change our ways of doing things. And that 5 or say 3% that we get from our minerals. I think it is a total shame to tell our children that out of the mineral resources that are mined in this country, we have less than 5% of the wealth coming to Ghana. What a shame. What a shame. We give tax relief to foreign companies, and then we are here saying we need money. When there are people having our money and they are going away free of charge with it, how can we say we need money? So as I said, the solutions are there. The tax relief, we need to look at them. We need to look at these things, and that's the only way by which we can affect this. But if inflation is going high, the graduate is unemployed, those who are even employed are losing their job because probably the company can no more maintain them because of high cost of production. What happened? So we need sincerity. We need transparency. We need accountability going forward as a country.
Thank you so much, Doc. I wish we could continue on better time.
Yes, but
Hadia, 1 minute.
To my people.
Okay.
Yesterday, in fact, I didn't listen to news. I was resting, only for a friend of mine to call me from the US to ask me what was happening in my town. I said, where? That Tamale. There was some gunshots. People were attacked. The Depema with his people are even in the critical condition at the hospital. We are praying for peace in Daban. The peace that we are enjoying in Daban. Peace has been restored in Daban. So I think we should maintain that peace so that we don't allow anything that will break or bring destruction in our towns again. But you know, my dear, you know the Upper East, we lost our chief imam, Sheikh Tahir. We are going to start the Adua on Friday. Quran recitation and everything. It will continue on Saturday, and Sunday will be the final Adua of Sheikh Tahir Said, the Upper East Regional Chief Imam, who died some few weeks ago. We are calling on the people in around the Upper East to come and mourn with us in Bolga, especially the MPs and ministers of Upper East should try, and because this was a peaceful man. I knew Martin Tyro, as we call him, when I was a kid like this. I cannot mention one person that will say that Martin Tyro has had maybe confusion with him or her before. This is a man that we revered, a man that brought so many people into the Islamic religion in the Upper East region. He's a Bongo person, but his Islamic school is in Bolga. He established some in other places in the Upper East region. So, Jama'a mula roƙon kowa za mu je mu yi makokin babanmu Sheikh Tahir ranar Lahadi. Mula son a fara da bismillah a kare da alhamdulillah. Allah ji kan musulmai baki daya da suka rasu duka. Kuma shehunmu Chief Imam, Allah ja zamanin shi. Chief Imam ya zo don shi ya kamata mu duka mu je mu support Chief Imam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Hadia. Doc, are you okay? Do you want to say something?
No, she has finished.
1 minute.
Well, I would want to use probably the day to say all women should just relax. And I think women or men who are married should use today as an opportunity to pamper their wives.
Okay.
And the nation, yes.
Pamper us.
Today is for day of
and I think that yes, as honestly, I was expecting that we will have something as maybe nationally to celebrate women. I haven't seen that program. Probably going forward, we need to have programs like that. Maybe
I think on Thursday, the socialist movement of Ghana. I mean, we are doing something like that.
Even
okay,
today,
as listen, okay, that's fine. Today, I know University of Ghana, we have something also, but probably
KNUST.
I was expecting like something national.
National, okay.
People are doing it at their various levels.
The national one is being done. That is what I'm telling you.
Oh, okay.
At the KNUS.
Probably then the publicity is not so much.
Okay.
So I just want to use the opportunity again to salute all women and to say
but
that
we are celebrating ours.
Yes.
We are celebrating.
Exactly.
Even if they don't celebrate, we celebrate ourselves.
Let's also break the barriers.
Did you see the man who is preparing banku for his wife?
You see, oh.
In a suit and tie.
And
I salute this man.
honestly, I want to say that somehow we've seen a lot of barriers being broken, especially with the education.
Yeah, academic.
One trend I have seen, in fact, in my class, is that somehow, for some reason, I'm seeing the females in the class doing so well, when you compare with that of the male. And I think that, well, that's a great barrier we are breaking as women, you know, but we just need more women, you know, in these levels, or especially when it comes to the higher education level, and also in the front of leadership. I think UG, for the first time, you know, we have really set a record. We have our VC being a woman, we have the registrar being a woman, and then also director of public affairs. So I want to say good morning to our VC, or our 3 great women as far as University of Ghana is concerned. We say we love you, and we know that you are going to raise the flags, or the flag of women high at the university. We are going to see tremendous achievement as far as...
And women organizations who are championing the cause of women, Abantu for Development, FOSDA, NetRight, all of them. We wish them
Happy International Women's Day.
From Pan-African
Television.
Yes, from Pan-African.
Okay, so thank you so much. This has been Good Morning Africa show, the special edition, the International Women's Day edition of the show. And we have been in conversation with Dr. Benedicta Yayura Fusumesa. She is a communications member of the National Democratic Congress, and also Hajia Hamdatu, aspiring presidential candidate for the CPP and former acting chairperson for the CPP. But let me remind you that on Thursday,
are going to honor me today.
You today. Oh, you deserve it. Yeah, you deserve it. Haja Bakupe.
Haja 1. Any Haja that is called 1 is
fake.
It's fake. It's Haja 1. Yes.
Okay, so let me remind you that on Thursday,
to the women's wing of the party.
Of the party.
Haja Aisha Sulefuta.
Okay.
Yes.
On Thursday, 10th March 2022, at the headquarters of the Socialist Movement of Ghana, which is the Nogahi Hotel on the George Walker Bush Highway, we are going to hold a seminar, and the theme is breaking the gender bias in the Ghanaian society. And so we are inviting all of you to participate in this particular seminar. We are inviting all of you to participate. Let's say a big thanks to all of you. Don't forget that there are no limits. There are no limits to what we women can accomplish, okay? And the best protection you as a woman can give yourself is courage. Be courageous, okay? Be courageous. Go anywhere. Even when you are not called, try and enter. It's very important. The spirit, force your way there, okay? Force your way there. The time is 5 p.m. It's 5 p.m. So happy International Women's Day to my producer, Loretta, Mrs. Jane Van Baden. Foster. Okay. 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 Happy International Women's Day to Hajia, to Doc, to my mother, Christiana Buedu. She's watching us. A big thanks to my producers, Edem Foster. Thank you, Hajia. My mom is watching. Happy International Women's Day, ma. All right, so happy International Women's Day to my boss, Madam Mrs. Amaprat Owusudan. So you're watching as well. Thank you so much.
There's 2 young couples in this country. Let me applaud them.
Applaud them.
Ama and
Kwame.
Gifty of national service.
And her? Oh, yeah.
Oh,
they make marriage
very
beautiful, interesting.
Look at these 2 couples. Every time I see them, I salute them.
I'm learning from my bosses, so.
I'm telling you. The way Kwame celebrates Mami Ama.
Oh, it's serious. Yes. Yeah.
And Gifty too. Oh, my God. You are watching us.
Ama.